the realm of true crime, few cases send shivers down the spine quite like a cold case brought to light. Harold, once hailed as a pillar of his community, now stands at the center of a chilling documentary. His facade of respectability shattered, revealing a dark underbelly of unsolved mysteries and heinous crimes. But it was his encounter with Sarah McLean, an 18-year-old caught in the web of his sinister schemes, that unveiled the true depths of his depravity. As the cold case is cracked wide open, the lines blur between predator and prey, leaving us to unravel the enigma of a criminal core laid bare on trial. But who was Harold Sasko, and what had he done to Sarah Gonzalez McLean? How did she respond to his reprehensible behavior, and what fate befell her as a result? Welcome back to the Crime Doc, where we'll delve into these questions and more. I would appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel. Harold Sasko wasn't your typical criminal. Some argued he didn't belong behind bars at all. So, let's delve into his story and see where it leads. I release new episodes weekly, so if you're intrigued, please subscribe. In the meantime, grab a cup of coffee and join us as we explore the case of Sarah Gonzalez. Welcome back to Kansas, also known as the Sunflower State. With nearly 3 million residents, Kansas may be sparsely populated, but it holds its fair share of mysteries waiting to be uncovered. Thanks to its vast rural landscapes, Kansas has emerged as an agricultural powerhouse, churning out significant quantities of wheat, corn, sunflowers, and soybeans for the global market. It's also renowned for its beef, making it a hotspot for American barbecue enthusiasts. Today, our focus shifts to Lawrence, situated near Kansas City, where 52-year-old Harold Sasko, better known as the Video Man, resides. Hal, born on September 11, 1961 in Titusville, Florida, grew up in a large family of 12 siblings, 8 boys and 4 girls. Described as a natural leader who's adept at delegating tasks, Hal's family portrays him as highly organized. After college in Oklahoma, Hal ventured into entrepreneurship, launching his own pizza restaurant. Within 2 years, he expanded to a second location, both named Cece's Pizza. In the late 90s, Hal, along with his wife Anna and daughter Amanda, relocated to Lawrence, where they opened a third restaurant. Now, Hal's obsession with his business consumed him entirely. His work-hard, never-stop ethos clashed with his wife's need for balance in their lives. After all, Hal wasn't just a business owner, he was also a husband and father, and his family deserved his attention. Eventually, the strain reached a breaking point, leading to a significant conflict between the couple. Unable to bear the burden of single motherhood, Hal's wife made the difficult decision to divorce him. Though not a devout churchgoer, Hal prided himself on his reputation as a good person and respected community member. Known for his kindness, caring demeanor, and organizational prowess, his sudden disappearance on January 17, 2014, sent shockwaves through the community. The day started like any other Friday, with the weekend on the horizon. Employees arrived at Cece's Pizzeria, expecting to start their workday, only to find the restaurant eerily empty and silent. Hal, who typically unlocked and prepared the kitchen, was nowhere to be found. Concerned by his absence for several days, the employees alerted the authorities, prompting a welfare check at Hal's home on West 26th Street. Upon arrival, a grim discovery awaited them. Hal's lifeless body lay inside, surrounded by a pool of blood. Investigation revealed disturbing details. Hal's hands were bound with zip ties behind his back, his feet also restrained. A deep gash across his neck left no room for doubt. This was a brutal homicide. Adding to the mystery were scattered beer bottles, an unfamiliar phone, and laptop, along with Hal's missing car. The most chilling clue, however, was the word freedom scrawled in blood on the wall, a message seemingly left by Hal himself, a baffling twist in an already perplexing case. As police combed the area for answers, they discovered that Hal wasn't living alone. He shared his home with a teenage stepdaughter. This revelation became a crucial lead, suggesting someone close to Hal might hold vital information about his final days. I was also in regular contact with the police regarding the crime scene. Eventually, the purported teenage stepdaughter was identified as Sarah Gonzalez McLean, an 18-year-old who had been living with Harold for the past 2 years. However, she was nowhere to be found, a troubling development that left law enforcement with numerous unanswered questions. Could Sarah have been abducted? Was she in danger? Or could she possibly be implicated in the murder? With Sarah's whereabouts unknown, locating her became the top priority for authorities. She could be a victim, a witness, a suspect, or none of the above. But finding her was imperative. Family members and friends were notified of the tragic event, and plans were made for a memorial service for Sarah on February 8th, 3 weeks later. The public was urged to contact Douglas County Crime Stoppers with any information about Sarah's location, with a reward of $1,000 offered for valuable tips. Before delving into what happened to Sarah, let's delve into who she was. How did she come to live with her purported stepfather at the age of 16? And how could someone so young be connected to Harold Sasko's murder? Sarah Gonzalez McLean was born on July 9, 1994 in Topeka, Kansas, into a loving family of 5. With a brother and a sister, Sarah's childhood was characterized by her shy yet kind nature. Though homeschooled and not particularly outgoing, her upbringing was anchored in the warmth of her family, particularly her close bond with her sister. However, her life took a downturn when her parents decided to divorce at a young age. The dissolution of her parents' marriage had a profound impact on Sarah, setting the stage for a tumultuous adolescence. Sarah, who grew up in a sheltered environment under her parents' care, possessed a certain innocence that left her vulnerable. Unfortunately, this innocence often attracts those who seek to take advantage, as many of us are aware. Following her parents' divorce, Sarah faced inappropriate advances from a neighbor, which had a profound impact on her. This experience significantly changed her behavior, leading her to seek solace in questionable company and resort to unhealthy coping mechanisms, much to her mother's dismay. After her parents' separation, Sarah felt disconnected from her home environment. At just 14 years old, she sought independence by entering the workforce and living on her own. Cece's Pizza became her place of employment, providing her with both income and a sense of autonomy. When Harold crossed paths with Sarah, he appeared to be an ordinary manager. However, rumors among the staff painted a different picture of him. Allegations surfaced that he showed favoritism toward hiring young and attractive individuals, raising suspicions among some. While employed at the pizzeria, Sarah adhered to a routine of waking up, heading to work, clocking out, and returning home to her family. However, her nights often revolved around drinking, leading her to return home intoxicated. Observers noted that she seemed sober only during work hours, or as sober as one could be after a night of drinking. Despite frequently showing up drunk and narrowly avoiding dismissal several times, she managed to hold on to her job, largely due to Hal's understanding and support. He seemed to grasp that she was going through a tough time and needed assistance. Nevertheless, in her 15th year at the pizzeria, Sarah endured another traumatic incident. A man assaulted her and inflicted burns with cigarettes. This ordeal had a profound impact on her already fragile mental state. Unable to cope, she stopped working and eventually lost her job. With her support network dwindling, she isolated herself from friends and sank into despair. Less than a year later, at the age of 16, Sarah made a tragic attempt on her life. Thankfully, her family intervened promptly, getting her the medical help she needed. After spending 5 months in the hospital, she eventually made a full recovery upon her release. After her discharge from the hospital, Sarah found solace in the support of friends both near and far. One message that particularly resonated came from her former boss, Hal, who offered to act as her personal life coach and a supportive figure. He extended invitations for meals and lent a compassionate ear to whatever weighed on her mind. With no other options available, Sarah eventually leaned on Hal's offered support. During a meal at Taco Bell, she opened up to him about her entire ordeal, including past encounters with other men and struggles with alcohol. Learning of Sarah's desire to leave her family home and understanding the extent of her trauma, Hal offered her a place to stay with him. Despite having his own family home, he had a spare room available. While the offer seemed peculiar coming from a 50-year-old man to a young woman in distress, it was genuinely made. Sarah, vulnerable and adrift, accepted Hal's offer. Initially, things improved. She found employment, Hal provided care, Her dog joined them, and she even contemplated pursuing college. However, Sarah's mother harbored reservations about the arrangement. She found Hal's behavior peculiar and the entire situation unsettling. While she empathized with Sarah's predicament, attempts to discuss it often led to arguments that pushed Sarah further away. Michelle couldn't shake off the feeling that Hal's intentions might not be as innocent as they appeared. Furthermore, she doubted whether Sarah, in her vulnerable state, could discern the true nature of the situation. Michelle reasoned that Sarah's longing for familial connection, coupled with her father's absence after the divorce, might have clouded her judgment. Adding to Michelle's concerns, Hal eventually requested that Sarah address him as Dad or Daddy and informed neighbors that she was his stepdaughter. This revelation did not come as a surprise, but it did unsettle her coworkers when they learned of it. When questioned, Sarah maintained that Hal was merely her stepfather. But to outsiders, the dynamic between a 50-year-old man and a troubled 18-year-old girl residing together raised suspicions. As Sarah settled into her new home, Hal's behavior shifted. Upon turning 18, he began supplying her with alcohol and drugs, making suggestive remarks, and tracking her expenses. Feeling trapped, Sarah complied with his demands, and their relationship grew increasingly flirtatious over 10 months. To cope, she turned to substance abuse, worsening her debt and mental health. As despair consumed her, Sarah's behavior escalated. She impulsively bought a rabbit, which she later killed and served for dinner. This warning sign went unheeded. Eventually, on January 17, 2014, Sarah fled after murdering Hal. She was apprehended on January 25, 2014, in Everglades National Park, carrying incriminating evidence. In her confession, she detailed drugging Hal and fatally stabbing him, citing feeling trapped and manipulated as motives. Sarah confessed to a penchant for violence, admitting to killing rabbits out of curiosity and expressing a desire to inflict pain discreetly. She stated, "I've had violent thoughts for 2 years, becoming more intense. It's hard to explain, but small things can trigger me." Her admission raised concerns indicating potential legal trouble. She also claimed memory gaps and feeling detached from her life, leading to a diagnosis of dissociative identity disorder, DID. Sarah's DID revealed multiple personalities, including Elisa, Vanessa, and Mila, each representing different aspects of her psyche. Elisa was vulnerable, Vanessa combative, and Mila agreeable, while the unnamed alter bore the trauma. During her trial, Sarah's defense relied on DID, arguing that Elisa, influenced by other alters, committed the crime. Despite this defense, she was found guilty of premeditated murder and sentenced to life, with a minimum term of 50 years. Sarah appealed, citing her abusive relationship, but it wasn't considered during her trial. However, new evidence of Hal's misconduct emerged, leading to a 50% sentence reduction to 25 years. While Sarah's actions were condemnable, her sentence seemed harsh given her circumstances. Harold was widely admired, yet harbored a darker side, leaving me torn in my perception of him. Despite his popularity, he could inflict cruelty on others. I'd like to conclude with a quote from Sarah's grandmother. "Sometimes the predator becomes the victim, and the victim becomes the predator." This resonates deeply with Sarah's story. While she was undoubtedly a victim of abuse, she also unexpectedly became a perpetrator. It's challenging to assign blame in such a complex situation. Mental health undoubtedly played a significant role in her actions, leaving me uncertain about where I stand on the matter. I'm eager to know your perspectives. Do you think Sarah should serve her current prison term, or should her original conviction have been reevaluated? Please share your thoughts below. Thank you for tuning in to today's true crime documentary video. That concludes our discussion. Thank you for your viewership. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. Stay safe and farewell.